Hi, good evening, dear friends. This is Efrat. Thank you again for being here. Yesterday, there was a nationwide general strike and a day of protest. And it was initiated by the Hostages Families Forum, along with other activist coalition. The strike was accompanied by major protests in general all over Israel. It includes blocking highways, burn tires, but also cinemas, theater, business, university, and tech companies across the country closed. There were millions of people all over the country in the road. A central rally, you can put now the picture, Daniela. A central rally was held in Hostages Square in Tel Aviv. According to the Hostages Families Forum, around 500,000 people attended, with an estimated 1 million participants in protest events nationwide. This was considered one of the largest demonstrations since the war began. And beside this, around 38 people was arrested across the country during the protest because of police politics to not let them block the roads. It was like an infusion of hope to those of us who are so many, to see the power and the influence and the care that so many people have. Recently released hostages, Arbel Yehud, declared military pressure does not bring hostages home. It kills them. The only way is through a deal. Of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu betrayed that ending the war without a clear victory that no one knows or understands what does it mean. A planned is in the same time a planned Israeli military invasion into Gaza City escalated. Concern with hostages' family warning that such operation could result in their loved, loved one death. And we should never forget over 61,000 Palestinians have been reported killed, fueling both domestic and international pressure for a ceasefire and hostages. So today, a lot of this protest is continuing, and we will see what it should bring. In this picture, you can see the main point in Tel Aviv, where all the streets around were filled with people. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Efrat. Hello, friends. Last week, we spoke about, yes, we spoke about the map of the partition plan of the area between two people. And this week, I would like to share with the aid of those maps, especially the first and the second, we leave the third aside, um, the development of this piece of land that has been divided by the United Nations international community and to where it led on the way to today's situation. Looking at two maps from the three, just getting an idea of the continuity of the situation, especially relating to the fact that more and more countries nowadays demand the recognition of a Palestinian state. So this period of 1947 till 1967 was a transformative and turbulent time for this area. There was war, there was displacement, there was shifting political control, and maybe today we'll try to give a snapshot of the situation before 1967, before what we know as the occupation of Palestinian lands by Israel. So looking at the pictures, at the maps, in the first map you see in November 1947, the United Nations partition plan that proposed dividing Palestine into Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international control. The Jewish leaders accepted it, but the Arab leaders rejected it. And you see the proposal. The green is Palestinian territory, and the blue is supposed to be the Jewish territory. In May 1948, Israel declared independence, and this immediately led to an invasion by Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. So this was the first Arab-Israeli war, the War of Independence for the Jews, and Nakba for the Arabs, Nakba meaning catastrophe, which resulted in mass displacement of over 700,000 Palestinian Arabs who fled or were expelled from their homes. After the war, there was an armistice agreement in 1949 under the auspices of the United Nations. Now, look at this, although it's written 1948 there, but it's the agreement of 1949. Jordan annexed the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Israel expanded beyond United Nations borders. This is the blue part of the map, and Jordan is the orange part of the map. Egypt took control of Gaza. This is the yellow. And pay attention that no Palestinian state was established as a result of these agreements. The Palestinian Arab leadership did not sign any armistice agreements or participate directly as a recognized party to these diplomatic processes, not part of the deal. So the Palestinians ended up in refugee camps in Gaza, which belonged to Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria, creating the long-term refugee crisis and the creation of the PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization, with Arafat as its leader. The only country that did grant citizenship to most Palestinian refugees was Jordan. Egypt and Lebanon did not grant any right or citizenship to them, so they faced restrictions on all levels of civilian life. For instance, employment, property ownership, and so on. So the United Nations, UNRWA, were the ones who provided essential services like education, food, medical care, employment in its own institutions, and is often till today the only source of support for Palestinians. Over decades, the focus of international policy was humanitarian aid rather than addressing the root cause or facilitating their return to their land. This is something which institutionalized the crisis and normalized a system of accepted statelessness. So, friends, this is a trial to depict a situation of the area before 1967. It is a very difficult picture to hold, both territorial-wise, human-wise, and sense of self-wise for the refugees, while Israel develops a sense of self and establishes itself in the region in spite of the terrible enmity around it. So just let's take a few seconds to integrate in our consciousness and to grab a bit more of this major issue in West Asia. It will be, we are going to continue in the weeks to come the development of the area, of this conflict. And I'm very grateful for you to be with us. Now, we will enter our meditative service. Uta just came back from a trip. Welcome, Uta. And I will lead us into meditation. We take a few breaths to settle in our body. In the inner silence. Being in touch with our heart between the shoulder blades. We purify it in harmlessness. We collect our mental forces in the center of the head, expanding into a planetary perspective. And we stand as the soul in incarnation, in the will to peace. We visualize ourselves coming together on a mountaintop in a sphere of pure light. Linking with each other heart to heart, mind to mind, soul to soul. We realize our telepathic communion with all soul-guided servers as part of the Ajna center of the planet. We stand calm at the midway point between the manifest world and the higher realms. From that midway point, we observe humanity. And we focus in now on the region of West Asia. Taking in the different nations and the different ethnic and religious groups, and the complexity of the interplay between them. Observing this intense planetary vortex with its mental, emotional, and physical strata. Let us sense its effect on the etheric body of humanity. Just witnessing. Opening towards our ashramic co-workers and sensing their protective presence with us. We open into their much wider perspective. What is the bigger picture here in West Asia? What is the higher plan for this region? Sense this plan intuitively and instinctually as a vibration, knowing that it exists and that it will be manifested. Destruction is part of the process. It is still part of the process, and this must be so. Let us envision a time when the destruction of old outworn forms will be happening, not by outer force, not by violence, but by the greatly strengthened life within those forms. Destruction of form, liberation from form, not by force, but by the waking up of the inner spirit, of the soul light, which will burst this form from within. Liberation from within. Let us hold this possibility as a vibration in our group field. Let's visualize it gaining substance. Stabilizing it. Tracing now an energetic connection between this vibration of the divine intent and the present condition on the ground, and bringing the two into vibratory relation, the future condition and the present condition. Sense a magnetic relationship being set up between them. And the energies flow as if between two electrical poles. As above, so below. See and sense a shaft of pure golden white light, broad and brilliant, flood West Asia. A huge column of light pouring through all planes. Hold this column steady in the will to peace. See the soul light flooding the mental sphere of West Asia. See the soul light pouring into the astral plane of West Asia. See soul light pouring into the electric, etheric, physical plane of South Asia. Penetrating into the earth, pouring into the old imprisoning patterns of separativeness that are lingering there. Let us invoke the aid of the Lords of Liberation for this planetary task and evoke the soul light in humanity. Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to humanity. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, coming, save. Come forth, O Mighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may we stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, O Mighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, Almighty One, and let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, Almighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. See the saving force spreading into the entire area, into each nation and each ethnic and religious group. For all our relations, for the highest good of all. We anchor the saving force in West Asia through the sound of the great invocation in Arabic and Hebrew. من نقطة النور في العقل الإلهي ليشاع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض. من نقطة الحب في القلب الإلهي ليتسرب الحب إلى قلوب الناس وليرجع معلم الكون إلى الأرض. من المركز الذي تعرف منها إرادة الله لتقود الغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة. تلك الغاية والتي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها. من المركز الذي نضم بالجنس البشري لينتج تسمين الحب والنور ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر. ليجدد النور والحب والقوة التسمين على الأرض. الله أمين.
בנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, יזרום האור אל דעת האדם, ירד האור על פני האדמה. בנקודת אהבה אשר בלב האל, תזרום האהבה אל לבבות אנוש. ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. והמרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם. תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. והמרכז, אשר נקרא המין האנושי, תוגשם תוכנית האהבה והאור, ויחתם הפתח אל הרע. יהי רצון, ויחדשו אור אהבה ועוצמה, את התוכנית על פני האדמה. אמן.